Why do you keep attracting people who don't truly choose you? It's not because you're not good enough. It's not because you're unlovable. And it's definitely not because you're doing something wrong. But it might be because you've been taught to believe that love must be earned, especially by being nice. Let's get honest. How many times have you found yourself giving too much, waiting too long, or hoping that if you're just patient enough, kind enough, or available enough, someone will finally see your worth? You're not alone. So many women, especially those with big hearts, fall into the trap of believing that being nice will lead to love. But what if this very energy, the one that makes you overgive, over-apologize, and overstay, is what's actually repelling the deep, mutual love you desire? Dr. Joe Dispenza explains that our thoughts and emotions create a field of energy around us, one that either magnetizes or repels the experiences we want. And Dr. Dyer reminds us, you don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. If you carry unresolved stories of unworthiness, your energy will keep attracting crumbs, because somewhere deep down, your nervous system is wired to think that's what love feels like. This video will explore 5 science-backed reasons why accepting emotional crumbs isn't just hurting your heart, it's blocking your ability to manifest the love and life you truly deserve. You'll learn how trauma patterns, energy frequencies, and subconscious beliefs all work together to shape your reality, and how to shift them for good. It's time to stop waiting for others to choose you, and start choosing yourself so powerfully that the universe has no choice but to reflect that back. Because your energy doesn't lie. And when you learn to become a match for what you truly deserve, love, respect, connection, everything changes. Let's begin. Have you ever felt like being nice was the right way to win someone's heart, only to end up overlooked, undervalued, and emotionally drained? So many women have been conditioned to believe that if they're kind, understanding, low maintenance, and always available, love will naturally come. But in reality, that behavior often leads to being taken for granted. Dr. Joe Dispenza teaches that our repeated emotional experiences become hardwired into our brain and body. If you grew up associating love with inconsistency, rejection, or emotional distance, your body might actually be addicted to those states, without you even realizing it. You're not weak. You're not broken. You're simply neurologically patterned to seek out what feels familiar, even when it hurts. That's why it's so common to find yourself chasing validation from people who give you very little. Not because you enjoy suffering, but because your nervous system thinks that emotional crumbs are love. It's a chemical memory, a subconscious loop. Dr. Dyer once said, "You cannot be lonely if you like the person you're alone with." But here's the thing, if deep down you don't yet feel complete alone, your energy might signal desperation instead of wholeness, and like a magnet, you attract more people who withhold. Let's talk about trauma. According to Dr. Gabor Maté, childhood trauma isn't just about what happened, it's also about what didn't happen. The emotional neglect, the missing presence, the unspoken words. When those absences shape our inner world, we can grow up craving connection so badly that we accept almost anything just to feel seen. Dr. Nicole Lepera calls this the wounded inner child seeking validation through adult relationships. When we don't validate ourselves, we unconsciously look for partners who echo our original wounds. It becomes a cycle: overgive, feel rejected, overcompensate, repeat. Now, think of Megan Fox, who's been open about her high-intensity relationships marked by emotional chaos. Or Paris Jackson, who's struggled publicly with abandonment and self-worth. Even Michelle Williams of Destiny's Child spoke out about how her low self-esteem kept her stuck in one-sided relationships, until she decided to seek therapy and heal. These women weren't weak. They were vibrating in a frequency tied to past wounds. And until that frequency changed, the pattern repeated. Joe Dispenza explains this using the science of energetic fields. Every emotion has a frequency. When you're vibrating in guilt, shame, or unworthiness, your energy becomes incoherent, and you attract people who reinforce that incoherence. Dyer adds, "Loving people live in a loving world. Hostile people live in a hostile world. Same world. The world doesn't change, you do. So how do you break this cycle? You begin with radical self-validation. You stop waiting for someone to choose you. You stop hoping that giving more will make you more worthy. You shift your focus from being chosen to being aligned. Because every time you betray yourself just to keep someone in your life, you send the universe a message that you are willing to accept less. You teach people how to treat you by what you tolerate. But more importantly, you teach yourself what you're worth by the standards you hold. It's not about becoming cold or unavailable. It's about learning to sit in your worth long enough for the wrong people to pass and the right energy to match you. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine this. A banquet table. Food overflowing, music playing, light beaming from every corner. But there you are, kneeling under the table, collecting scraps while begging to be noticed. How long will you stay there before you realize you were always meant to sit at the table? Let that image burn in your mind. You are not here to beg. You are not here to prove. You are here to embody. And when you do, the entire field around you changes. You're not too sensitive. You're just tired of being in environments where love is rationed. You are not a rough draft waiting for someone else's approval. What if stopping being nice is the very thing that finally sets you free? You can write affirmations, visualize your soulmate, and script your ideal relationship in detail. But if your energy is vibrating fear, doubt, or emotional scarcity, none of it will stick. This is one of the most misunderstood truths of manifestation. It's not your desire that creates your reality, it's your frequency. Dr. Joe Dispenza teaches that we emit a measurable electromagnetic field from the heart and brain. That field carries our emotions and beliefs out into the quantum field, broadcasting who we are, not who we pretend to be. So when you ask, why do I keep attracting emotionally unavailable people? The answer might not lie in your words, but in your energetic signature. Dyer put it simply. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. And here's the hard truth. If your energy is shaped by feelings of unworthiness, loneliness, or desperation, you'll pull in relationships that reflect those very emotions. Not because you're cursed, because you're in energetic agreement with the familiar. Let's break it down even further. Neville Goddard taught that your state of being is what manifests. Not your wish list, not your journal entries, not even your vision board. If deep down you feel like love is hard, inconsistent, or conditional, that's what will mirror back to you. It's not magic. It's resonance. Like a tuning fork, your energy finds matches in the field. Joe Vitale reminds us that cleaning up our inner vibration is essential. He teaches practices like Ho'oponopono to release embedded emotional residues that silently sabotage our manifestations. His question is simple but piercing. What are you holding onto that's lowering your frequency? Now imagine this in real life. Think of Lizzo, who unapologetically embodies self-love and has redefined the standard for what self-worth looks like in public. She doesn't wait to be accepted, she chooses herself loudly and consistently. Or Gabrielle Union, who after experiencing betrayal and emotional heartbreak, didn't collapse, she healed. She went inward, reclaimed her power, and began to attract partnerships that matched her wholeness, not her wounds. These women didn't beg for better. They became better matches. And that's the work. The law of attraction responds not to begging, hoping, or pleading, but to alignment. And alignment starts with the energy behind the desire. If your longing for love is coming from a place of panic, fear, or I'm not enough, then even your most spiritual practices become coated in neediness. That's why things don't manifest. You can't fake energy. Dr. Dispenza explains this with neuroscience. Your emotions generate chemical reactions that feed your brain-body loop. If you stay in a cycle of fear, rejection, or abandonment, your body memorizes it, and your field becomes entrained in that story. Dyer bridges this to the spiritual. Change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change. But you have to feel different to see differently. You have to believe you're worthy, not just say you are. Let's ground this with a simple metaphor. You are a radio tower. You're not just receiving love, you're transmitting it. If you keep broadcasting on the frequency of I'm not enough, all you'll pick up are echoes of that station. So what do? You begin by choosing yourself emotionally, not just intellectually. You take the actions that reinforce your worth. You rest when you're tired, say no when it's not right, and stop negotiating with people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Because choosing yourself is not about selfishness. It's about breaking the cycle of attracting people who reinforce your wounds instead of your value. And when you finally match the energy of the love you say you want, it has no choice but to arrive. You are not asking for too much. You're just asking the wrong people. What if your energy already holds the love you're looking for? Let's get something straight. You're not here to beg for attention, affection, or effort. You're here to remember your worth so deeply that reciprocity becomes your only standard. But for that to happen, you have to stop waiting for people to change and start changing the energy you're sending out. Dr. Joe Dispenza teaches that if you want to create a new personal reality, you must first create a new personality. That means breaking the habit of being the old version of yourself, the one who accepted breadcrumbs, stayed silent to keep the peace, and shrank herself to feel chosen. Real transformation begins at the identity level. Dyer said, "You'll see it when you believe it." In other words, reality doesn't shift because you wish it would, it shifts because you've shifted first. This is the exact point where most people get stuck. They do the affirmations. They try to raise their vibe. But deep down, they're still vibrating in old stories like, "I'm hard to love. I always get hurt. Maybe I'm asking for too much." Those are personality quirks. They're subconscious programs. And as long as they're running in the background, they'll sabotage even your highest intentions. Joseph Murphy, author of The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, explains it this way. Your subconscious accepts whatever you emotionally believe to be true. So if you want new results, you don't just change your actions, you reprogram your emotional truth. Michael Beckwith goes further. The universe doesn't give you what you want. It gives you who you are in vibrational integrity. And vibrational integrity means your energy and your standards are in harmony. You no longer settle. You no longer explain your worth. You no longer tolerate one-sided love and call it spiritual patience. Let's look at women who've done this publicly. Adele went through a painful divorce, and instead of collapsing under the weight of shame or fear, she rebuilt herself. She emerged from that chapter not with bitterness, but with clarity. She shifted her identity from someone who stays for her family to someone who thrives for herself. Shakira, after an explosive public breakup, didn't spiral into silence. She made music, reclaimed her space, and redefined herself in front of the entire world. And Issa Rae, creator of Insecure, chose love not based on who made her feel needed, but on who made her feel seen. She kept her relationship private, intentional, and aligned with the identity she built through years of self-worth work. None of these women begged to be chosen. They chose themselves first, and let their energy filter out everything that didn't align. That's how a vibrational identity works. It's not about pretending you're perfect. It's about being so clear on who you are, what you value, and what you allow, that anything less simply doesn't survive in your field. Dr. Dispenza describes this as quantum filtering. The more coherent your energy becomes, the more selective your field is about what, and who, it allows in. Dyer echoes this truth. When you stay connected to your higher self, everything that's not meant for you naturally falls away. So how do you build this new identity? Start small. Act from the version of you who already feels loved, already feels respected, already feels chosen, without needing proof from the outside. Before you text them back. Before you say yes to something that doesn't feel good. Before you accept another emotional half-offer. Ask, is this aligned with the woman I'm becoming? That one question can change your life. Because the moment you stop negotiating with your worth, your energy becomes non-negotiable too. Visualize it right now. You walking into a room, not looking for validation, but radiating certainty. Your boundaries no longer needing to be screamed, they're felt. Your presence doing the filtering for you. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you're ready to receive. Are you waiting to be chosen, or becoming the version of you who chooses? If you've made it this far, you already feel it. There's a part of you that's waking up, a part that's no longer satisfied with half-effort love, emotional breadcrumbs, or waiting around for someone to finally see your worth. That part of you isn't desperate. She's discerning. She knows that your energy is the first conversation you ever have with the world, and it's time that conversation speaks the truth of who you are. Dr. Joe Dispenza reminds us, you are not doomed by your genes or your past. You are designed to change, evolve, and grow. You are not your childhood wounds. You are not your past relationships. You are not the version of you that tolerated crumbs. You are a powerful creator of energetic patterns. And the moment you become aware of the frequency you're broadcasting through your beliefs, boundaries, and behaviors, you start to rewrite the signal. Wayne Dyer said it with quiet certainty. Love is the ability and willingness to allow those you care for to be what they choose for themselves, without insisting they satisfy you. But that wisdom starts with you. What if you became the person you've been waiting for? What if you loved yourself so deeply that your energy refused anything that didn't match that same depth? What if you stopped chasing alignment and became alignment itself? When you stand in that kind of wholeness, you no longer attract based on fear or lack. You draw in experiences that reflect your self-trust, your peace, your vision. Let the stories of Adele, Shakira, Issa Rae, Gabrielle Union, and so many others be proof that this isn't just possible, it's real. You don't have to betray yourself to be loved. You don't have to beg to be seen. You only have to remember who you are, and return to that truth again and again until the world has no choice but to respond. Because when you become a clear, coherent field of self-worth, nothing chaotic can stay. You are not here to earn love, you are here to embody it. If this message spoke to something deep inside you, take a breath, hit like, and subscribe. Not because you owe us anything, but because you owe yourself the daily reminder. You are worth more. And it starts right here.